Hello and welcome to the Battleground. My name is Alex Burr. I also host the Running Hook podcast. I just wanted to let you know that we have some other awesome podcasts on this one, including the aforementioned Running Hook. We have Lynn's Sanity with Caleb Lynn. Go check out his episode he just dropped with Nicole Reitz, Drew Hansen, and Bryce Shadday. Also on this first episode of the Battleground, check out the Circle City chat room. Zach Griffith and Brett Sexton, newly minted co-host. They dropped the 25-year anniversary podcast where they dissected The Usual Suspects, they dissected Seven, and they dissected Casino. And also check out the Running Hook. I just did a couple episodes on the all-defense team with Caleb Lynn and the all-rookie team with Dylan Hughes. Those are a lot of fun episodes. JD and Bryce are great. This episode was great. I really want to shout out those guys. They're two of my favorite people in the whole world. You know, everyone that's on this network are some of my favorite people in the whole world. And I just hope you love all the content that we're putting out because we're doing it for our fans, if there are any. But just thank you so much for listening and hope you enjoy.
Welcome to the Battleground with JD Hall and Bryce Shadday, a part of the Running Hook Podcast Network.
To the Battleground. And so this is a brand new podcast we're debuting, and let me go ahead and introduce the two contestants, the two fighters, if you will. First, in the first corner, I feel like
the
these guys
red corner, red corner, the king of king, the goat of goats, the SmackDown who brings it raw. I am the Friday night highlight reel, the Wednesday night wowzer, the Monday night monster, Mr. Supreme, JD Hall. And in the blue corner, you have the man, the myth, a little bit less than a legend, but he'll become one today. Mr. Tuesday night drama rama, Thursday night llama to llama, Sunday night I'm going to church and coming back and bringing the drama, Mr. Bryce Shadday.
Thank you, my good sir. It's great to finally be on this podcast with you.
Yes.
Blessings, man. I'm grateful. I needed a worthy opponent. I don't see nobody nearly as knowledgeable as you.
Oh, you know, I always bring the heat and the facts and the knowledge, and you better be ready, my guy.
Hey, man, if it's Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker at the same time. Yeah, I can't lose.
Well, that's the only speed I know, baby. Living a quarter mile at a time.
I'm glad, man. I'm so glad. Let's get this show on a roll, baby.
So, yes, I was going to give a little bit of context, but as you'll see often, these guys are the star of the show. I'm here to be a traffic cop. I'm just here to direct traffic one way or another. And I mean, these guys are the real stars. You know, I think it's safe to say we've had this in development for a couple months now, but it's good to finally get this show on the road. You know, we got music for it. We got, you know, the awesome debate team. And so I guess the first logical place to start is who gets top billing on the podcast. JD, I'll start with you.
Is that a question? Who else would get it?
Obviously, it would be me.
The goat of goats. I'm an icon. I'm a legend. Of course I get top billing.
No. Look. I should get top billing because I'm a veteran of the Running Hook podcast. I've been on just about every show except Top, which you should go give that a listen. It's a great new podcast that we got out. I got plans to be on that podcast soon. I've been everywhere. I've seen things. I've done things. I know how this rolls. your boy should get top billing.
Listen, I love your resume. That's the reason I wanted to face you. I wanted this because I know your resume. But guess what? It takes a lot to bring the big dog out. You brought the big dog out, so the big dog gets top billing. But it's okay. I introduce you as I introduce myself. So you get top billing if you was going against anybody but me. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think so, Mr. Hall. As much as I love and adore you, and I'm so glad that you're sitting across the table from me on my computer, doesn't mean you should get top billing, man. I just don't think so. I don't think so.
Listen, there's no debate to it. How about this? Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors, and you were Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks, so to speak. You got a whole lot coming in on your shoulders. You got the world behind you. But when the light shines the brightest, it shines on me.
Hold on, I'm looking for the light. I don't see it. I don't see a light. Look, man, if you're going, just so for context, JD's obsessed with the Kawhi Leonard. He's going to get a lot of Kawhi Leonard mentions. You know, I think that's second rate. So, you know, I should get top billing for that because I'm not going to be all over somebody like Kawhi Leonard. I'm not going to be all over somebody like LeBron James. You know, I got no pressure on me. I'm just here to do me. I'm just here to talk, man.
TJ Warren. Who don't deserve to be in this conversation.
No.
He's not in the league. Wow. In this league.
Don't come out here with TJ Warren stuff already, man. We haven't even gotten into anything. Don't even come at me with that stuff.
They better stay tuned because this is the heat right here. This is the heat right here.
We'll get after it. Hey, just so you know, TJ Warren got to visit your boy Jimmy Butler twice in this NBA season. And you better hope Jimmy shows up.
No, I hope Jimmy show. I hope TJ Warren don't guard him. I want TJ Warren to be on the floor. You heard Jimmy. He better put somebody else on me. Y'all got Vic back. Vic probably a little bit better now. Put Vic on him. You put TJ Warren on him, he might miss one shot again.
I think for the spirit of brevity, we'll definitely have some more Jimmy Butler, TJ Warren arguments. I think that was the over in what anyone or the under, excuse me, in what anyone expected for the time of the first Jimmy TJ argument between you guys are. You're legendary for it in our circles for it. But to move on to kind of a similar topic, I guess it is NBA related. So, who would you guys have as the favorites to win the NBA this season? Bryce, I'll start with you.
I think myself and Mr. Hall, my colleague, my friend, my brother, are probably going to agree on this one. I think it has to be the LA Clippers. But here's why. So obviously we know about Kawhi Leonard. We know about Paul George. We know about the stars. But I think it's not just who's on the court. I think it's who's in the office. And that would be Mr. Jerry West. Jerry West has built team after team after team that has been successful, that's won championships. And this man is a brilliant man. So with all these players dropping out and the trade deadline before the coronavirus destroyed the season, basically, he decided to add Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, and Joakim Noah, which I know Mr. Hall, Mr. Burr, you love Joakim Noah with a passion. I'm not sure why, but you do.
Bulls for life.
Yeah, Bulls for life. Adding those three guys so that somebody like the Lakers can't add them hurts the Lakers, even though the Clippers may not give these guys solid minutes, right? So as compared to what the Lakers have added, They've added Markieff Morris. They've added Dion Waiters, who was on edibles, and J.R. Smith, who couldn't get a job in the league, but all of a sudden is good enough to play in the NBA again. I don't understand. I don't understand the Lakers' moves. I feel like they got two of the same player in Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith, average defenders, decent shooters. Markieff Morris and Marcus Morris kind of cancel each other out. I think the Clippers should be the favorites to win the championship. Should I put the Lakers second? Nope. I think not. Right behind them should be this team up in Massachusetts called the Boston Celtics.
Okay, Bryce, bring the heat.
The combination of Kemba, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Gordon Hayward is a force to be reckoned with. Brad Stevens had his team playing team ball. They got guys that are willing to play their roles with Marcus Smart and Daniel Tice. Got a little bit of bench depth as well. I think they could take the Lakers in a 7-game series if that were to come to fruition. I think it won't, because I think it will be the Celtics and the Clippers in the finals. Mark it down right here on the Battleground, July 1st.
To piggyback off the first pick, I definitely take the Clippers. Surprisingly, it's a but coming. I take the Clippers, but if everyone is not healthy, I'm not sure that with the limited amount of time, everybody could play themselves in a form. With Paul George saying that he returned to form and he feel like he did last season, I think that takes them over the top. They lost one game as a healthy team already for the whole season, and we know how they battle injuries this season, and they look almost indestructible versus most teams outside of a team like Milwaukee, who blew them out once, and Houston gave them some tough games. But once we seen them healthy, they completely dismantled Houston. I mean, Zubac played his best game of his career, and everybody looked at Zubac as that's the one piece that's not formidable versus a top-notch team. And people look at Houston as a team that could make a lot of teams uncomfortable in the playoffs. Then versus the Denver Nuggets, we seen Zubac and Montrezl Harrell run circles around Jokic, and we know that Jokic is one of the top centers in the league. The ball pressure from Pat Bev, Kawhi, PG really got into the team, and they dominated the Denver Nuggets. I think when healthy, the Clippers not only have the best defensive team, but probably one of the best scoring teams. They have 4 people that can average over 19 points. And you don't think of one of them as a scorer. You never would think of Montrezl Harrell as a scorer. But that's the kind of impact he brings to the game due to his energy, his nonstop hustle. And then you got a guy, Pat Bev, who can have 0 points, and he got more energy and he's more enthusiastic than anybody else on the floor because he's that kind of player. And then when he came back from his injury, the wrist injury where everybody was trashing him for shooting bad from, he's been shooting 43% from the three. 43% from the three as a Pat Bev. Kawhi, we know about his efficiency. You put Paul George the way he played last season and with the efficiency he been playing this year, and he's just now getting healthy, it's a tough team to beat. And honestly, the only team I can see matching up with them well because they play small would be either the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat. I think Milwaukee and the Lakers both play a little bit bigger. So those would be the teams that I think would try to use mismatches more. But a team that plays small, I think the only teams that could play small with them is a Boston and a Miami, and that's just because Bam Adebayo's not a traditional size center, match up well with Trez. Then you got when they actually do play small, you can switch in Jay Crowder, Iggy, throw in Jimmy, Duncan, Tyler, Kendrick Nunn. You know what I'm saying? You can name plenty of pieces that they could just fill in, and that's what you do with the Clippers. Then when you think of Boston, as Bryce mentioned, they have a solid bench. You could bring in Grant Williams, who usually played a small ball five. You could bring in Robert Williams. He don't play that much, but he's a very high impact player because he plays with a lot of energy. Brad Wanamaker is somebody that you really don't think of, but he's a big piece to their bench. Marcus Smart, we know what he brings. And if Gordon Hayward returns to form before he got hurt, they was the only team outside of the Clippers that had 4 people averaging at least 19. So on those levels, I do think that matchup-wise, those would be the only 2 teams that can actually bring people in and try to match up solidly. But the Lakers and the Bucks, because they both play a little bit bigger, I think those would be the teams that try to exploit mismatches. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to exploit a mismatch when Anthony Davis isn't one of those guys who's just going to outbang you on the block, which is why they're comfortable with switching on them, which is why they're comfortable with putting Marcus Morris, JaMychal Green, Kawhi, Paul George. They got 4 pieces that can switch instantly between him and LeBron, and those are the best 2 players. And even if nobody stop them, that's enough to slow them down where your top players don't run out of energy. And in the playoffs, you need that, especially when you got guys like Kawhi and Paul George, who are 2 high-usage two-way players. Then you got a Montrez, who's going to probably outwork everybody on the floor. Patrick Beverly, we seen what Pat Bev brings when he got 0 points, getting a clutch stop on a Christmas game. And then Lou Williams. And without Avery Bradley being there, it really hurts the Lakers defense, just because the fact that he's really the only person that can match up well to defend versus Lou Williams. He's short enough with long enough hands. I think they try to use Danny Green a lot to guard Paul George or Kawhi. I think the loss of Avery Bradley hurts them a lot more than the pickups that they made.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, Montrezl Harrell's a dog. Pat Bev's a dog. You can't. I think if you speak about somebody like LeBron's legacy, I think having this break and him, I'm sure he's out, to win this whole thing, right? Definitely. If he really wants to, if we don't want an asterisk by this title, I want to see him step up and guard Kawhi Leonard when they play the Clippers. I want to see it. I want to see what you got. Don't throw Danny Green at him. We all know Danny Green can't guard Kawhi Leonard. He may not even be able to guard Paul George at this point. Right. J.R. Smith and Deion Waiters, they don't have any defense, So,
agreed.
Maybe you could throw Markieff Morris at Kawhi. I think that might be your best chance other than LeBron, and that's even kind of sketchy in my opinion.
Yeah, that'd be terrible in my opinion. I think you got to put Markieff and Marcus against each other if you're the Lakers. Not necessarily if you're the Clippers, because you can switch so many things. But if you're the Lakers, you got to put Markieff on Marcus because AD need to protect the paint. Anthony Davis have to be down there protect the paint because the Clippers are a team that can shoot, but they will go to the rim nonstop until you physically put them down. And LeBron will have to physically dominate not only the offensive end, but he's going to have to body into Kawhi the same way Kawhi bring it to him. And all 3 of the matchups, I think Kawhi actually had the better game. In the third matchup, people praise LeBron's game, but He just made free throws. He shot the same as any other one, not well. He made a lot of free throws. Avery Bradley made 5 threes in the third quarter. He made 7 for the game, finished with 25 points. It's not often you're going to get that out of arguably your best wing defender. And I think it'll be a tough matchup for them because Avery Bradley is gone. It further pushes towards the Clippers' way with a team being that deep with playoff experience. When you think of the team, everybody but who would you say? Reggie Jackson has had a nice playoff push before.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. You know, and something that might hurt the Lakers as well is, you know, the status of Dwight Howard is still up in the air. Dwight Howard, you know, obviously he can protect the paint as well. You know, he's a major rebounder. If he's not there, you know, you're left with JaVale McGee, who has playoff experience with the Clipper or with the Golden State Warriors during their runs. You know, he can protect the paint. I wouldn't say as well as, you know, an Anthony Davis or a Dwight Howard.
And he's limited on minutes.
Right. He's serviceable. You know, having Montrezl Harrell down there and Zubac, which he was an absolute steal from the Lakers once again. You know, Jerry West putting in that work, just destroying the Lakers, all their plans along the way to set up this moment for them. And when you look at other teams in the East and the West, you know, somebody like the Milwaukee Bucks, you know, we've seen obviously, you know, they have arguably the best player in the league. You know, you could say he's the best player in the league. He is the reigning defending MVP, probably in line to win it again.
I agree.
But you have somebody like, you know, Eric Bledsoe, who hasn't shown you much in the playoffs, that just kills you. That kills you.
Drop off.
Right. Chris Middleton, you know, he's an okay player in the playoffs. He's a fine player. He's not great. But if that's your second option, right, you got an issue. The Lopez brothers, what can I say? They're serviceable players. They're everything you want on a championship team. They just don't have the supporting cast around it. And somebody like the Toronto Raptors, the reigning defending champions as well. Pascal Siakam's really come into his own this season. Hopefully he can continue that. But I don't think that team is built to win back-to-back championships. I just don't think they have it. Kyle Lowry is still playing at a high level, but he is getting older. I don't know that Siakam's ready to carry a team. Ibaka's getting older. I just don't think that they're quite ready. The only other team in the West that I think could challenge for the title would be somebody like the Rockets, like you mentioned earlier, JD. With Harden and Westbrook, they're a team to watch, but I think their small ball experiment is going to fail in the end. It's a good idea, but so many of these teams, like the Clippers and the Lakers, have players on their team that can match up with these guys pretty well. Stopping Westbrook and Harden is a challenge, right? And the IQ, I totally agree. Westbrook plays a herky-jerky type of basketball that. Charges are there to take. And you get him in
You've seen what Ricky Rubio did versus him.
Right. Somebody as simple as a Ricky Rubio, who really nobody wants on their team for the most part, except Phoenix. But that's another story for another day. But I mean, there are ways.
I completely agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Rockets, they would love to see in the playoffs, they'll love to see a Denver or a Utah for some reason, Utah put Gobert on Westbrook. That's a dead mission going there because we all know that Gobert, first of all, not going to be able to keep up with Westbrook. And Westbrook confidence goes through the roof when Gobert are guarding him. I mean, he make threes every time Gobert is his defender. And then versus a team like Denver, they'll be pounded on the inside. But they're going to make Denver have to run and guard them. And I don't think Denver will be able to because they don't really have a perimeter stopper. And with a team that ISOs as much as James Harden, not having a perimeter stopper mean you got to play more team defense, and they not a good defensive team in my opinion. Draws just as many fouls as what Jokic would do on the other. Only difference is they already don't have a big man to lose, so they not really losing nothing. But Denver, only pieces that they have is valuable pieces. So they lose one thing, it can disrupt a whole lot. Yeah. Then out east, I think only other team, if they playing at a high level and they're healthy, I think could possibly make noise and be a big sleeper is Philly, just for the fact that I don't think nobody out east can guard Joel Embiid, and Ben, when he to play that he is capable of, when Brett Brown let Ben play his game, I think Ben Simmons might be the biggest factor in the East. He can guard Giannis. He does a great job guarding Giannis. When Brett Brown put Joel Embiid on Giannis. But when you put Ben Simmons in there, I think it's a big thing because Ben Simmons is able to not only guard and defend at a high level. I think he's defensive player of the year in my opinion this year. But he's able to rebound, pass. He could get to the lane and score pretty much at will as long as the lane has a split second of an open and he's that explosive. I think Philly could probably make a big push if and only if they healthy. Tobias knocking down shots. They picked up a couple of shooters. Some can defend a little bit, and that'll be good because they already a kind of big team. If Al Horford plays anything like he did in Boston, they got a chance to push to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep. I could see it. I could see Philly making it. But I think the similar styles of Embiid and Simmons could be a problem for them. But yeah, definitely. I'm going with Clips and C's in the finals. I can't wait.
Yeah, I take Clippers in 6 versus anybody.
Pick an East team. You have to pick a team. I'm making you man up and pick a team.
If I gotta go with my dream matchup, of course it'll be Kawhi versus Jimmy.
Okay, pick a realistic matchup.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate that you said that because that is realistic, but I think Boston gonna make it out. I don't think a lot of teams can match up pretty well with Boston, and Boston is a very versatile team. Then they got players that's not afraid of nobody, and I think that really give them an edge in the playoffs, and their chemistry is a lot better this year. Nobody playing with an ego. I like Boston.
So it seems like for the first argument that we had, the first real argument, obviously that the first one at the beginning was only partially a joke. Obviously these guys' egos are massive. But it seems like we have consensus on the first sports argument of the podcast, Clips versus Celtics in the NBA Finals. But it's time to move on to our second topic, and that topic is which NFL team should be the favorite coming into the season? I'll start with JD this time since I started with Bryce last time.
I can't go against him. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I got to go with Big Trust in the Baltimore Ravens. And I think it's the tie between them and the Chiefs. They both young teams, and I think that both the superstar quarterbacks really are like, they the only people that can see each other on the even playing field. And there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there, but I think with what Patrick Mahomes bring is just different from anybody. But you got to say the same thing about Big Trust, Lamar Jackson. And I think both of the teams have good defenses around them. Their offenses are set up pretty well. I would love to see both of them. I think my favorite is Baltimore Ravens, but I think that's because I'm big on the team and seeing the kind of push they made last year, going 14-2. But coming off a championship, being as young as they are over there up in Kansas City, I think that they have just as equal of an opportunity. So those my picks. The Ravens and the Chiefs tied at 1, and I think it's by a long shot.
I mean, I would have to go with I don't have a 1A, 1B. I think it's got to be Kansas City. I think what they did in the playoffs last year was just incredible. I mean, for Patrick Mahomes to overcome his knee injury, come back, and kind of be decent, not, like amazing throughout the rest of the season. But once you got into the playoffs, it really didn't matter how much they were down, and that was evident in the Texans game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Like, Mahomes is going to sling the ball, period. And y'all just better be ready. Like, there's not many teams that can keep up with that, as we saw. San Fran, they thought they had a good game plan for him in the Super Bowl. Turns out that it worked until they gave up the lead in the second half and lost the game. Now some of that might be put on Jimmy Garoppolo for missing the throw. That's up for debate. But I think Kansas City's got to be the favorite coming in. If they can figure out how to get better on defense, I think that makes them that more dangerous. But, I mean, to JD's point, I think Baltimore is right there, a close second, with Lamar. You add J.K. Dobbins, a rookie out of Ohio State running back, who can catch the ball out of the backfield and can really run with some force. He'll be a good complement to Mark Ingram in the backfield as well. The only concern for me from Baltimore is twofold. One is if they can develop more receivers. Okay, you have Hollywood Brown, who's your deep threat. Lamar loves throwing the ball deep to him. That's where a lot of his touchdowns came from. I think teams are going to game plan for that now. They're not going to let Hollywood Brown get behind him now. And the concern is injuries from Lamar running. I think he's got to be smarter with his running. He's a young guy. Typically, you see a lot of young quarterbacks run and just sacrifice their body. You live in a different game now. You can't do that. But I think a lot of teams are going to try to follow the Titans' game plan, which when you look at it stat-wise, Lamar amounted massive numbers. He had over 360 yards passing, and he ran for over 140. But the thing about Lamar is he turned the ball over 3 times. 3 times against that game, right? That was the difference. So, I
think going based off what you said with the wide receivers, if reports are to be true, I know some people may have their own locker room and chemistry concerns, but if they were to add Hollywood Brown's cousin, who's been working out with him and Lamar, Antonio Brown, I think that really pushed them over the top to fits that receiver threat, because we all know that Antonio Brown, one of the most talented and skilled guys in there. If he could come in and their chemistry is still intact, and it's a big chance that it would, because he's with his cousin, so he got somebody that he's comfortable around. He been working out with Lamar, so he got somebody that he's actually building a relationship with. I think that plays a big role into the chemistry situation. He's already been working with these guys, and if you bring them in, that definitely helps the wide receiver problem. And I mean, look out. If you can bring in Antonio Brown with that team, I think it's a big chance that they probably go 14-2 again. And those 2 losses, one may be to the Chiefs, just like it was last season. And it came, Patty did what he did, came back in the second half, won the game 28-33. But as I said, if they could bring in Antonio Brown, man, I think that team goes way further than early exit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And the thing about Baltimore is they shored up their defense. You have Jimmy Smith, you have Brandon Carr, you have Earl Thomas, you have Marcus Peters, and you have Marlon Humphrey, all patrolling the field, right? And then you add somebody like Derek Wolfe on the defensive line from Denver, and you add Calais Campbell, who's had 31 and a half sacks the past 3 years. So, I mean, a guy that averages about 10 sacks a year, how can you be upset with that? And add that to a guy in Matt Judon, who's already been there, who had 9.5 sacks last season. It's a defense that's dangerous, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and they definitely improved with all those additions that you made, which is why I think that, like I stated, defensive end, I'm not worried about them. I think that they'll be able to do what they need to do as far as keeping their sack closed down and allowing the offense to do what it's supposed to. As long as they can defend well, that team showed last year they trust Lamar that much. I don't know if everybody heard, but it was a sideline conversation with Mark Ingram mic'd up. He said they got to stop because they trust you. Bring it home. Yep. And Lamar did what he did, got 2 big rushes, made a nice little pass, and before you knew it, they come back, they win by 10. When they came into the quarter down by, 3? I believe 3. I mean, the defensive end is not a big problem, but as you stated, they need a couple more receivers. But if you bring in Antonio Brown the way that they are trying to, the Chiefs would end up being one of the greatest matches we'll see because it's so tight on both sides. Superstar quarterbacks. When the Chiefs' defense is consistent, one of the best defenses in the league, but they just got to stay consistent. They will not defend in the first half, but in the second half, they turn into a top-ranked defense that will hold you to 2 field goals.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and then if you look at the NFC, you got a couple teams with San Francisco and New Orleans that I think can battle it out at the end. San Fran made it to the Super Bowl last year. They added the receiver out of Arizona State, Brandon Ayuk, who's a speedy guy. He's kind of a Deebo Samuel-esque guy. But they also lose Emmanuel Sanders, who's kind of like their rock as far as receivers go. And San Francisco traded DeForest Buckner to Indianapolis for our draft pick, who they basically just replaced with Javon Kinlaw. So, I mean, they really didn't lose much there, if I'm being completely honest. Kinlaw's a dog. He's going to get after their quarterback for sure. But New Orleans is kind of interesting to me because you have Breeze coming back who, he's going to do his thing. Him and Michael Thomas, they're going to do their thing. But then they add Emmanuel Sanders, right? So now you have a guy opposite Michael Thomas that can take the pressure off of him and really make an impact on that team, plus Alvin Kamara in the backfield. And then they added Malcolm Jenkins from Philadelphia to patrol
big pickup.
Yeah, I think that's huge for them. So I think they're a team to watch out for. And, you always got the wild card of Taysom Hill coming in. They got packages for him all over the place. He can run, throw, and catch, which makes him incredibly dangerous. And Sean Payton is one of the most creative coaches in the NFL. So I think they're a team to watch out for.
Yeah, and I really hate that I got to agree with you. I really been wanting to argue, but you really just stated exactly what I believe in. I do think that New Orleans is that team that could make a push out the NFC. And as you stated, the offense with Drew Brees is going to always stay intact. But giving him another option makes the offense even better. And then bringing in another guy for the defense, where they did have a little trouble in the passing game last season. Bringing in Malcolm Jenkins, I think that's pickup. And I think as far as that go, I'm tired of agreeing with you.
I'm tired of it too.
I know. I you know what? email our producer and our editor, for coming up with these ideas. I won't tell you. If you want his email, you can private message me. I'll let you know who it is. But, we have a wonderful host, though. He's a pretty good host.
He's a terrible with coming up with ideas for tension, but great at coming up with the hosting duties. But so, Bryce, let's just make it a little more local for JD. How do you think the Bears are going to fare this season?
Man, don't get me on these Bears real quick, man. Listen, Mitch Trubisky. All right, look at this dude right here. Look, y'all be trading for Khalil Mack. We're in a win now situation. This is some nonsense, bro. Win now? Are you kidding me? Hey, bro, what's it like watching Trubisky throw to the sideline and throw it to his guys, throw it to the punter on the sideline? What's that like?
Listen, I'm going to tell you. Some of the greatest views come when the commercial come on. Watching Mitch, I'm telling you, I'd rather bury my face in sand. I hate watching Mitchell Trubisky play football. I hate
Nick Foles now, though.
Oh, gosh. He gives us, 4 games healthy? We'll win. We'll win those 4 games.
Hey, just get into the playoffs and then put Nick Foles in. It's probably the best idea.
Mitch lead us to the playoffs.
Maybe. He did it once. But let me tell you what.
Yeah, our defense won those games. Our defense averaged we averaged 2 touchdowns on defense.
And you guys stripped away some of that defense too.
Yeah. Listen,
hey man,
we gonna always have elite defense. I think that's just a Chicago thing. But where do we get a quarterback from? We went up in a draft to draft Mitch Trubisky.
Hey JD, could you let the folks at home know which quarterbacks were drafted after Mitch Trubisky? If you can't, I can for you. I remember it clear as day.
I'm gonna say 2 names that end it all. Patrick Mahomes, who just won a championship.
And an MVP.
Who's also an MVP. And Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, who's doing quite well for himself, except Bill O'Brien is an idiot.
His rookie season, he was having a monster year. Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback. One that we should have drafted. Nobody knew Patrick Mahomes was going to become who he is.
Kansas City did.
Hey, Kansas City has a great eye for talent. They scouted his practices. They probably went and scouted this guy's sleeping ability. They got every single detail they could when they drafted him and let him run free.
we
drafted Mitch Trubisky.
I wish this is a video podcast. The only evidence I need to show the folks at home is Mitchell Trubisky throwing at the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge, trying to throw that to that guy over the glass.
No.
What a video. What a video. No. Oh, yeah.
How you get embarrassed? How you get embarrassed at your Pro Bowl? Dude?
Yeah, bro, you're just trying to have fun. This dude can't even throw a ball to a guy over a piece of glass. What is this? What is this nonsense, dude? You know, Mitch Trubisky is the biggest system quarterback I've ever seen in my life the year that he took you guys to the playoffs. It was embarrassing.
He didn't take us. The defense did. We would not disrespect the Bears.
Can you be a system quarterback if you're not good in any system?
That's what I'm saying. You know, I think Mitch Trubisky would do real good as a third stringer.
Hey, JD, I got a question for you. I'll flip it on your head a little since I kind of sneak attacked you there. How do you think the Colts are going to do this season?
We're going to do great. 10-6, baby. 10-6.
I think they'll do a little bit better than my Bears. No.
We're doing way better than your Bears.
No,
you kidding me?
No. I just sat and thought about it.
What? How could you even say that?
Because y'all ain't no better than we are.
Oh, in what ways?
Okay, y'all got Phillip Rivers.
We got a quarterback. I mean, that's all we need.
Listen. Y'all going 8-8, and we going 9-7.
Oh, stop.
We go 9-7. Y'all go 8-8.
8-8.
I didn't even look at y'all's schedule.
And our defense is going to be just about as good as yours.
Oh.
Darius Leonard, Anthony Walker, DeForest Buckner, Malik Hooker back there.
Listen. You can name 1,000 players that you can put on your defense. Y'all defense ain't gonna be as good as ours. Now, offensively, y'all will take that, and that's just because I believe in Phillip Rivers. But I don't know. I don't really see y'all being better than us. I don't see the 10-6. Y'all go steal 2 games that I'm not giving y'all, maybe. But if that's the case, we still at 3.
Oh,
so we finish 11-5.
Oh, stop! Oh,
you finish 10-6. We 11-5.
Oh,
listen,
stop.
Listen. You will not finish better than the Bears.
Oh, what a joke! What a joke! All right, I can't wait to call you out. I'm calling you out for all that nonsense when this happens.
Listen, if by the grace of God, the Colts finish better than the Bears, as a man, I could say I'm wrong. But listen.
Sounds like you will be.
I'm right.
Okay.
I'm right.
Yeah, we gonna find out.
Oh, I already found out. I seen it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. It says Phillip Rivers injured week 7. Come back week 13. Goes on a 3-game win streak. Y'all finish 8-8.
Oh, please. We got Jacoby Brissett. We'll be fine.
Oh, gosh.
He's better than Mitch Trash Bishke.
Let me tell you something. I could go grab a 3rd-grade female who never played football, who's a soccer player, who's a better quarterback than Mr. Trubisky.
You're probably right about that one.
So mean.
You're probably right.
We will not bring up that terrible quarterback as a true quarterback. He should have never been drafted. He should have never been in a draft. Mr. Trubisky does not deserve to have. Never mind, my boy Cam got a job. No. Mr. Trubisky don't deserve a job. Cap ain't got one that Trubisky do. Trubisky? Oh, no.
Hey, bro, that's all in the Bears, man.
Mr. Trash Bisky, the Biscuit Man, should never, ever touch the field as a quarterback unless he's 3rd string. Unless he miraculously get better. Because right now, he just look like he going out there playing catch with the sideline players.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad.
I see Mitch Trubisky throw an incomplete pass when he was on the field with 1 receiver. How do you mess up a pass and there's 2 people on the field?
He can. And guess what? He's playing for your hometown team, boy.
Listen, I'm from Gary, Indiana. I just love Chicago. I grew up on their teams. Gary, Indiana. It's not my.
I'm sorry.
I'm not a Chicago hometownie.
I'm sorry.
Gary, Indiana. But there's no way that we finish with a worse record than the Colts.
Yeah, mark that down. Mark that down, AB.
July 1st. I said it. 2020.
Down. Yeah, please mark that down. And make sure that when we do a podcast after the season ends, that this little clip gets played in. The Bears will finish 11-5.
Oh, trust me, I will definitely keep track of that. I'm going to make a little thing in my notes called Battleground Predictions. That's the first one. But on that note, I think it's time for us to move on to our last topic, where this will definitely be one of the funnier topics we have. And so, Bryce, a valid Red Sox fan. JD is probably the biggest Cubs fan I know, which is saying something. I'm from up by where he's from, and there's a lot of Cubs fans up there, so that shows you the dedication that he has. So, Gentlemen, I'll start with, I believe I started with JD last time. Bryce, I'll start with you. Who's just worse in general? The Yankees or the Cardinals?
I mean, it's obviously got to be the Yankees, right? Either you hate the Yankees or you love the Yankees. There ain't no in between. There's no, I kind of like the Yankees or I kind of don't like them. No. It's hate or love. In this case, for me, it's hate. They're despicable. It's embarrassing. They're like, we're just going to go buy every player that we possibly can. And they watch out for one another. Giancarlo Stanton, where did he come from? Miami. Guess who's running it out there now? Derek Jeter. What a joke. I've never seen such a bigger conspiracy in my life. What is this nonsense? And you know what? Stanton hasn't worked out for him, and that's exactly what they get. You want to know how many championships the Yankees have won since 2000? So in 20 years, you want to know how many they've won? Two. I thought they were the mighty Yankees. But two? So now they're just living off the past. Their last championship was in 2009, but they're like, oh, we have 26 rings. 26 rings? Who cares? What have you done for me lately? You know how many chips the Red Sox got in the last 20 years? 4. That's 20%. That's 20% of the chips, baby. So I don't want to hear this nonsense about the Yankees. Okay, I don't care. All right, you got A-Rod, who's a cheater. You bust all this money on him. He goes and does roids, which, by the way, if you want to learn more about A-Rod and roids, watch Screwball on Netflix for all you folks at home. It's fascinating. And then we have the Houston Astros scandal, which makes me hate them. I hope you know what? They're going to have a couple balls that come right at their bodies a few times. And you know what? I'm not going to be upset with it. But you have the audacity, especially Aaron Judge, who is supposedly the new face of the franchise. And this man, who's been hurt consistently, strikes out like I've never seen before. He has the audacity to call out Jose Altuve, delete a tweet that says congratulations when congratulating him about the MVP. And now this comes out that the Yankees were sign stealing as well. What an absolute joke. You've got to be kidding me with this. Don't think, oh, holier than thou, when you were doing the exact same thing. And you still can't win a championship, nor can you buy a championship. It's embarrassing for Yankees fans. They're an embarrassing team. I hate the Yankees. Forget them, dude. There's no way they're more despicable than the Cardinals. No way on planet Earth.
Let me agree with you for a quick second. I hate the Yankees too. I hate the Yankees. They remind me of the Patriots. I just hate them. You hate everything about them. You just hate them from top to bottom. But I'm a Bears fan. I'm a Cubs fan. I gotta hate the rival. I hate the Cardinals. I hate the word card because I know there's the St. Louis Cardinals. I can't stand anything about the Cardinals. I don't like red birds. I don't even like saying Saint. I hate the Cardinals. And everybody talk about, we got 11 championships. First of all, half of them was before segregation. Second of all, what you got now? What you got now? You suckers. I hate the Cardinals. And it took the Cubs 100+ years to win. Guess what? We won more recent than y'all. We won in 2016. Your last championship was 2011. And let me say this. Y'all ain't been a threat to us since maybe Pujols' last 2 years now. I hate Pujols.
He's a nice guy. He seems like he's a nice guy. Not. Has a nice family.
I don't like the bald head or nothing.
He wasn't like very nice with the Cubs.
Chin. Let me tell you something. Sayonara, Pujols. And you know who else I don't like? The second best catcher, Yadier Molina. Can't stand him.
You think Joe Mauer's better?
No. Wilson Contreras. A healthy Wilson Contreras. Nobody is out throwing him. He right on the money. He gonna toss everybody out. And when healthy, one of the best slugging catchers in there, if not the best. But anyway, hate the Cardinals. I don't like playing cards because I know I gotta say, hand me the cards. I'd rather say, give me the deck. How many out the deck did I throw out? Because I don't like those words. I will never have a friend named Louis or Louis. This is how scarred I am. And then people really like to argue that St. Louis is good. St. Louis is good. Listen, it's been 9 years since y'all been good. 9. Don't talk to me about St. Louis. The Cardinals.
Hey, JD, hey, the Cardinals have 2 championships since 2000 as well. They're on par with the Yankees.
I know, but listen, I can't talk about that because my Cubs, we played ourselves in 2003, 2015, 2017. We won 2016, though, and that was much better than theirs. Much better than theirs. We have one of the most epic championship series in all of baseball. One of the most watched series ever. Who do? The Cubs, not the Cardinals. I wouldn't. The one good thing I can say about St. Louis, they got a nice arch out there. I like the little arc they got.
It is nice, man. I've been up in it. I don't know if you have, but it's pretty nice.
I like that arc. I met some nice people from there. They're not Cardinals fans, though. They not even into sports. That's how bad St. Louis Cardinals is to them. They don't even want to be fans of those suckers.
And they are suckers, not suckers, suckers.
Yeah, they suckers. Listen, as much as you hate the Yankees, I hate the Cardinals. I see the parallel hatred there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, JD. And it's unfortunate that we have a friend that's a Cardinals fan.
He has disgusting taste up in teams.
Yeah, Mr. Caleb Lynn, the host of the Linsanity podcast, another one that you could check out on the Running Hook podcast.
Shout out to Linsanity. I love Linsanity, but I'm telling you, that's his name fits. He definitely hit insanity when he became a Cardinals fan. When he looked up and said, that's a nice red bird right there. I think I want to cheer for the guys with the hat on of the nice red bird. I said, okay. This guy definitely doesn't know what he's getting himself into. He been unhappy the last 9 years, I tell you that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. We'll have to have him on then.
Yeah, we could bring him on. I don't have no problem talking to him. I'm not debating a Cardinals fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A Cardinals fan is not worth the debate. What are we going to argue about? What they did 9 years ago or before segregation?
Gonna argue about Bob Gibson.
Yeah, like, man, irrelevant.
Gonna argue about Ozzie Smith.
I guess he gonna talk to me about before everything was like good, when other teams was actually good. The Cardinals not good, and Pujols. I'm pretty sure Pujols was on steroids.
Yes.
I'm like 99.99% sure he was on steroids when he was hitting all home runs versus us. So don't talk to me about no Cardinals when y'all some suckers who can't play fair. I ain't never heard nothing about Manny Ramirez. Not Manny.
Manny Ramirez.
Don't you dare come at Manny.
I'm in Aramis Ramirez. I'm in Aramis. I thought, me and you are so in sync today, and I hate it. I'm over here thinking about Manny. I like Manny, but I'm in Aramis or Derek Lee. We didn't have no steroids. But y'all get to have steroids over there up in St. Louis. Y'all get to have steroids over there with the Yankees.
Yeah, what you know about Mark McGwire, A-Rod, Andy Pettitte?
Mark McGwire. Like he ain't know about Big Sosa. Like he ain't know about Big Sosa.
Yo, hey man, both of them were on some steroids, bro.
Let me tell you something. Sammy never took steroids.
Oh, stop.
Oh, look at a picture of him when he was in the White Sox.
Stop.
Let me tell you something about Big Sammy. Sammy didn't take those steroids. I'm going to tell you what happened. It's a video. He started working out.
Come on, JD.
He started working out. He wasn't working out with Mark McGwire. He seen Mark McGwire taking steroids, and he said, "Oh no, I want to be natural."
Oh,
so you know what he did? He went and he was bench pressing about 350. He was bench pressing about 350 every day. And before you knew it, he came back. He said, "All right, Mark, let's get this show on the road."
In the middle of the season?
Listen, he said, natural versus the unnatural.
Oh, come on.
And it took Mark to juice up a little bit.
Oh, come on.
To be better.
JD, how do you jump from 36 home runs to 66?
He hit over 20 home runs in a month.
Listen, 350 on bench pressing alone.
Stop.
He was squatting 335 before he even started bench pressing 350.
Dude, you just don't jack 20 home runs in a month, dude. There's no way.
You do when you're in the zone.
Why has it never happened again?
Because he wasn't in the zone no more.
No, I'm talking about just anybody.
Because they don't have the same hand-eye coordination.
Oh, stop.
Listen.
Sammy Sosa did it.
If he didn't take steroids, how the hell did he hit 21 home runs at the age of 38 after not playing baseball for a season? Riddle me that, Batman.
He was still going to the batting cages.
I'm pretty sure everybody goes to the batting cage.
No. They didn't have the same training as he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He went in there just like he was still on the field. Let me tell you something about his batting cage. His batting cage was still out at the park where he get to go ahead and knock them dingers 350 to 500 feet out.
Oh,
not Mark McGwire, though.
Come on.
Not Mark McGwire.
If he wasn't cheating, how the hell did he...
Where's the proof?
Here's the proof. Batting average in 1997. 1997, Sammy Sosa's batting average, 251. 1998, the year that he hit 68 home runs, 308.
That's that's a big jump there.
And his career high batting average before that, he hit 300 and 100 in games. So, I'm just asking questions, JD. Sammy Sosa didn't even play all 162 in 1998, and he still hit 66. That's insanity. I don't care how much steroids he took. By the way,
let me tell you something. He was motivated by his hate for the Cardinals.
Oh, stop.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is baseball better when people were doing steroids?
No, because they always let St. Louis and the Yankees have a team full of juiced up players.
It is fun to
Bryce,
watch.
you forgot You forgot a roided up Yankees guy, Roger Clemens.
Classic Roger Clemens.
Listen.
Yeah, why? Yeah, I did not do
everybody
steroids.
Everybody that put on the Yankees uniform outside of Alfonso Soriano has taken steroids.
Oh, defending Alfonso Soriano now.
Cubs
brother.
guy.
Oh, brother.
And Arodys chap. Nah, Arodys took him too. He tried to give away y'all 2016.
I mean, listen, I think baseball was a lot better when it was steroids because it was a lot more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody's going to do it, just legalize it and let's smack some dingers, bro.
No, do not legalize it. All that hard work that the non-junkies do goes right out the window when you got Mark McGwire.
What are you, Frank Thomas?
Albert Pujols. Big hurt Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas did not do steroids. Let's make
Alex Rodriguez.
You take that blasphemy.
Listen.
Frank Thomas did not take steroids.
All right.
He was 44 years old hitting home runs.
For the folks at home, Alex Burr is a White Sox fan. He will defend Frank Thomas to his grave.
So, no, Frank Thomas is like probably the strongest anti-steroids guy there is. First and foremost, why
his head so big?
Because he played tight end at Georgia.
No. He was juicing. Him and Albert Pujols have the same size head.
He just was a big guy.
And Mark McGwire.
Oh, man.
Listen, I'm letting my bias show, but Frank Thomas did not do steroids.
Done joking. They go probably think that I don't know nothing because of what I just said.
Frank Thomas, we know he's been adamant against the pervasive use of steroids in the game, and he was never linked to any of the lists floating around.
That's true.
Hey, the only thing Frank Thomas can be guilty of taking is Nutrigenics. That's the only thing.
Those are terrible commercials.
Hey, Frank gets it done.
Frank Thomas got a chip before Pujols did.
Thank the Lord. I hate that Pujols. The fact Pujols even got a I'm mad about. So
and then he stole all that money from Los Angeles.
For what? For nothing. He was nothing over there. You know what? I hate the way MLB be biased to certain players like Pujols and Rodriguez. Two of the dirtiest players in the game. With a slap on her wrist.
Wow.
Better hope Albert Pujols doesn't hear this so he doesn't sue your ass.
I'm not slandering him. I'm just simply detailing the things that he did.
You're just making a baseless accusation.
How is it baseless?
What proof do you have that he took steroids?
His head. No, I'm just playing. Listen. You gonna see.
Whatever, man.
I think.
Listen. He did them.
I did not see us going down the steroids path, but I think it was a lot better for content. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
no, it's not. Albert Pujols played for the Cardinals.
Who would be the worst player you'd want to see take steroids? Okay, I'll start with JD. We'll just go real rapid fire. Who's a bad player on the Cubs that you want to see take steroids and get a lot better? Schwarber on steroids would be fun. I'm just going to throw Schwarber out there. Schwarber on steroids would be fun.
Let me see. A bad player? All of our pitchers.
Okay. Bryce, do you have any bad Red Sox that you would like to see on steroids for a season?
Not bad, but I want to see Xander Bogaerts or Andrew Benintendi on steroids.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
That's tough.
That would be a lot of fun.
By the way, Pujols was accused of taking steroids. I just can't prove that he did. But there's no way all these trainers go say he took them and he ain't take them.
And I think with that, we'll close on that with JD saying that he has no way of proving it, but he's right. So on that note, wait. Call out corner.
Time for JD's call out corner. And since we talked about the trash Cardinals, hey, Caleb Lynn, nice to see you. I want you on the Battleground, baby. Oh, William Hogsett.
Oh.
Oh
I definitely want you, buddy.
Oh boy, that means we're gonna have some LeBron talk. We're gonna have some LeBron Kawhi talk, folks.
I want all the smoke that he bringing behind LeBron, cause I've been waiting for him. I've been itching to get William Hawks on this platform and completely destroying everything he believes in. This will be massacre. Anybody ever seen Spartacus?
No.
Hey, let me tell you something. He will not be leaving this arena.
Are you threatening to murder him?
This is a sports debate. Of course I'm going to murder him.
With words. For any lawyers out there listening.
They know what I'm talking about. With words. I said sports debate.
Gonna shank you with my vocabulary.
He's gonna catch every bomb that I drop about these ridiculous LeBron arguments he come up with.
Bryce, is there anyone you would like to call out before we leave the episode today?
No, nobody that I want to call out, but I do want to give a shout out to the producer and editor and content creator, Alex Burr, and thank you for being the first host on the Battleground. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Same, maybe. Thank you.
So yeah, at the end, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. We're open to everyone hosting except, sorry, Caleb, we made a determination that you would cause too much strife. I think there has to be
too boring. No, he's just too boring. He's not good enough to be on this podcast. Fact of the matter is that he's too boring.
Oh, get a room with calling Caleb boring.
I will.
Just like Caleb to back down.
But and on that note, hosting for this podcast is actually pretty open. I'm going to host a good amount of them, but it's also open if anyone would like to host. I mean, just hit me up on Twitter at AlexBurr4. If you want to host this podcast, it's a lot of fun. These guys are a lot of fun, and they'll make your life incredibly easy. All you have to do is just kind of push them and prod them, as you saw as I did in the Colts section, the Colts and Bears section. But really, these guys are awesome. I'm really excited to have them as part of the team because just an awesome group of guys. I want to thank both of you, Bryce, JD. You're both top billed in my eyes. So I just want to thank you both for coming on or for joining the network.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.